I'm back and ready to drop another bomb on all of you.
Now that everything's over, you're just running after, whoa, yeah. Now she moves in the club. The drug's gonna turn her on. Now she wanna be like a star, oh yeah. So she just gonna move on, yeah, move on. Cause she don't need your love, cause everybody loves her now. No, she don't need you, boy, yeah, it's over. And she ain't gonna love you no more. No, 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 she ain't gonna love you no more. Now all that she gives is love. And you hate it, and you hate it. You thought she'll be yours forever. Oh, you hate everything you heard about her. She's not yours anymore. Now she belongs to the world. Now she wanna live like a star, oh yeah. So she just gonna move on, yeah, move on. Cause she don't need your love, cause everybody loves her now. No, she don't need you, boy, yeah, it's over. And she ain't gonna love you no more. No, she ain't gonna love, no, she ain't gonna love you no more. No, she ain't gonna love, no, she ain't gonna love you, she ain't gonna love. Whoa. No, she ain't gonna love you, she ain't gonna love. No, she ain't gonna love you no more. No, she ain't gonna love you no more.
We'll be getting to what I need to get to in a minute.
No, she ain't gonna love you no more. No, she ain't gonna love you no more. No, she ain't gonna love you no more.
All right. So I have even more receipts today about this mess and more hidden details. And I'd also like to answer another question that Raven had, which was when she asked, so if she ran away, did she go to Florida? This is a huge thing I never wanted to tell anybody. And this is another detail that relates to the GoFundMe, by the way. So when I first found when I first found the GoFundMe, I had shown it to my mother and my grandmother when my grandmother was still alive, and they offered to, drum roll please, I'm gonna get hell for this statement, but that's okay. They offered at the time to pool all of the money that they had. They put all the money that they had together and got her a plane ticket to come and stay with us during the time that she went missing. So at my old house, I apologize for that. I had to mute for a minute. Um, at my old house, she because we felt bad when she got here, we gave her a place to stay. Do what you want with this information too. And I have to check one other thing real quick. And if I get ratioed again, that's okay. But all right, I'm back. So here's more proof I would like to show. I got to go back to my email because as I've been doing, I email myself the receipts. And wait, let me pull them all up here. All right, so reason why I titled this stream "She Liked to Be Back" is because when we were talking, she was sending me all of this constantly. And she only sent me this picture. This is a picture that I took of her when she was here. I don't, but do what you want. Anyway, yeah. When she was here, while she was staying here, we hooked up, and where this took place was I went for like a walk with her, and she, for some random weird reason, wanted to find, like, she found like some random car someplace. It was abandoned. And so while I was with her over there, um, she decided to just sit in the car, I guess. And this was when I first started smoking. So I didn't smoke no cigarettes around her out of respect for her. But she asked me, could you please take a picture of me? So I took this picture of her. And this was another reason why I did not call um the LAPD because I knew why I knew she was in like a lot of trouble. They want to risk getting her into more trouble by telling them that, I had a person that was basically on the run from the law living with me at the time. Oh, first he says they never met. Now he's saying they met. Blah blah blah. This is why the fucking shit was so conflicting back then, because I didn't want to tell anybody what actually was going on, because there already were a lot of people looking into the whole thing, and it would have made it even worse. So that's why, like, all the old videos that I did about it are so conflicting. I couldn't figure out how to tell, how to explain to everybody what actually happened, because I didn't want her to get into more trouble. So there's another thing she sent me. She was sending me all these random pictures all the time, aside from the one I took of her. And I do have one other receipt. Somewhere, I believe. I know I emailed it to myself earlier. Oh, this is another thing. Because I was also being accused of running that, like, the Illusionist Rebel fan page on Instagram when all of this was going down. And I sent the picture that I took of her to one of my friends. And one of my friends, my friend that had the fan page at the time for me and for my old Instagram, was like, "Oh, that's cute. Why don't you let me make you an edit?" So there you go. She also gave us a ship name. And I'm already aware of the reaction that all of this, what I'm talking about, is going to get. People are going to have such a fit. Russ, why didn't you tell us any of this ages ago? I already explained why. I didn't know how to tell the truth about the situation, but now I do. There's yet another thing I have that I have to find. It's another text message. On my way back, my kid blew our breaker. Now the router has to boot up. Oh no, Anna, what a shame. Jeez. I oh, wrong chat. Well, is the child okay? Is it all right if I ask you that? I gotta see what the fuck I did with the damn. I'm gonna have to email myself it again. All right, I got it. Let me go back to my email. I'm gonna zoom in again. Okay. So I don't know if anybody could see it, but this is, and I really don't even care if anybody has my email. Um, this is another email she sent me, or another text she sent me. Excuse me. I like you too, Russ. Haha. So there you go. There you go. The conclusion to the story is I did not have nothing to do with her disappearance, yes, because as everybody knows, everybody said she disappeared of her own volition. Did anybody ever ask me why it was that she disappeared of her own volition? Nope. They were just like, oh, he had nothing to do with it, this, that, and the third. Now you have your answers. We met and we briefly dated back in the day. Okay? You got it. You got it. You got it. And do thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't care. Russ, people are really going to start looking into this too. If she actually was there, let them. I don't care. People are well within their rights to look into it. I don't care what people do. I don't control nobody. I don't control how anybody else thinks. I don't control what anybody else does. I don't control what anybody else says. Let people do what they want. But I'm giving you more details because I can. And because I'm the only person that was involved in this situation. Okay? You have it and you have it all. You got the DMs, you got the fucking text messages, and now you got me telling the truth about what actually happened. All right? I was dating her around the time that she went missing. And I know back in the day, oh yeah, like, well, you know, yeah, as if somebody that pretty would be interested in a creep like Russ. You can't tell somebody who to love at the end of the day. You can't tell somebody who to love. I didn't think she'd be interested in me either, to be quite honest with all of you. But she ended up being interested in me. So that's it. And it is what it is. And here's another reason why I was the last person she spoke with, is because after she was here, when she went back to California, I talked to her before we stopped talking just to make sure that she got back there safely. Because there was also another thing that happened regarding her, how she told me about her ex boyfriend who supposedly was a gang member and was affiliated with the Crips or some other stuff like that. I was like, okay, well, just be careful you don't run into him because I was worried that whoever he is could have subjected her to gang violence because the Crips are dangerous. So you got your tea. You got your tea. You got your tea and you got all of it. And before I hear anybody say, "Oh, well, Russ, that means that you were basically doing human trafficking." It was her choice to come out here. That's all I'm saying. Nobody forced her to come here. Nobody forced her to come here. I didn't force her to be in a relationship with me. Oh, he's lying. And Anna, you're probably going to be like, oh, he's lying about dating the girl again. How do you know? How do you know? I've shown proof, have I not? Is it still not good enough for you? And Anna ain't even here no more anyway, but that's okay. So, on another note, aside from all of that, what I would like to talk about now is da, 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 I don't even know, honestly. I'm gonna react to something else. But for further clarification, it wasn't just, oh, he stalked her. There really was a lot more to it. And that's all I'll say. Is Chris Hansen a hypocrite? What is this? Anna. She's an adult, but yes, she's okay. She's plugged in too many things at once, cooking in the kitchen. Oh, really? Okay. Well, Anna, can I ask you, what do you think of my story? Do you think I'm telling the truth? Probably not. He's trolling again. There's no way any of that happened. Think what you want. Think what you want. Think. All right, let me see what the fuck the thing about Chris Hansen is. Share screen. Chris Hansen. Yeah.
As some of you guys know, this Inside Edition thing with me just came out the other day, and Chris Hansen had a few things to say. So yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go ahead and dive into this.
There's a lot to go over here.
There's a few things to go over here. So let's go ahead and play it.
According to the Washington Post, in the last 3 years, over 150 groups have sprung up featuring average Joes trying to catch predators online. But as Lisa Guerrero reports, many in law enforcement say that can be dangerous.
I'm an average Joe.
Apparently, according to Inside Edition, we are nobodies and we are average Joes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Little did we know.
I need more than 500,000 subscribers.
Why is this guy running?
He's running right now
You know what? You and me both.
from us for some reason.
Because he
had a good
allegedly
form.
just got
Even though I'm never in my life going to get to that mark, and that's fine.
caught
It was
pretty
trying
proper,
to meet a
pretty
girl
solid.
he
That
was
man's
told
doing
is
the-
just
what was his name?
13
Superbad?
for sex.
Of course.
She was 18.
18. That's funny because right here in the chat log, she said that she was 13.
The man questioning him isn't a cop.
And with the Predatorial Investigation Unit there.
Predatorial Investigation Unit? Say
That's
what?
right. Do you have an idea on you?
The name of
Hey,
the business.
what?
Yes.
It is something funny, Dave.
If all this reminds you of somebody, it should. Remember Chris Hansen from Dateline and To Catch a Predator?
What are you doing here
The
tonight, Jeff?
legend.
Back in the
Yeah.
early 2000s, Hansen was famous for setting up
Also,
child
they sold them.
predators.
I've always thought it would be pretty cool to sort of do what Chris Hansen does.
And just like the real Chris Hansen,
Please have a seat. Right there. Set the phone down, please.
this guy specializes in stinging alleged pervs.
Is that an appropriate thing to be saying to somebody you think is 14 or no? No?
He calls himself Skeet Hansen in honor of
Oh,
Chris
yeah?
Hansen, and he's
Oh, yeah.
part of
Oh.
a growing group known as
Oh yeah, Skeet Hansen, huh? Yep. So another detail I'd like to say is yeah, I guess I do in a way consider consider Valentina an ex-girlfriend. Okay.
Video vigilantes.
I'm not a vigilante, damn it.
You're not Batman, bro.
I'm just a YouTuber.
Right.
I'm just a YouTuber. That's it.
We're just idiots with a camera, bro.
Literally, like
but
that's,
literally,
that's
actually, that's how it
Yeah.
started.
yeah. I mean, but we're always, of course, going to be labeled as a vigilante group, being that
Yeah.
we're stopping people
We're a
from
bunch of what was the term? Average Joe.
average Joe. We're just a bunch of average Joes here.
Have
Oh,
called
yeah?
you a video vigilante. Is that fair?
I don't really care to be called a vigilante. I think a vigilante is someone sort of like Batman. I'm just out Exactly. here Batman's making vigilante. entertaining. Batman doesn't get the police involved. He just does it himself. He just
Yeah, that's correct. Batman don't get the police involved. What Batman does do is he says, he drives around in a Batmobile while the Batman theme plays. That man.
just beats our ass and leaves them.
Just leaves.
I mean, we could do that, but
I would say
you know.
we call out World Star first so we can double dip and get a check.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
World Star.
definitely. But I mean, we're calling the police. We're calling the police.
Yeah, we're calling the police, but it's still disturbing and dangerous, though, despite getting law enforcement involved.
Yeah, I guess.
Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought? Okay, well, we'll keep going here. Content for people to watch on YouTube, and I don't associate myself with the term vigilante.
This is vigilantism.
My good sir, how dare he? How dare he?
There's a lot to go over here.
There is a lot. There's a lot to unpack here.
Right.
I specifically said that I'm not a vigilante. What's with this guy?
And then they proceed in immediately cutting away. I don't perceive myself as a vigilante. And then, so this is vigilantism. Like, oh, well, thank you for putting words about it.
Yeah, it does seem like it is. It does seem like it is vigilantism.
My mouth, I appreciate that.
It's just content creation. That's all. That's how I look at it.
Literally all it is. It's
Just-
just content creation.
I'm just trying to entertain some people.
Right.
And,
We're trying to entertain people. We're trying to, do a service to
Yeah.
the public. We're trying
Yeah,
to get
a little
these
bit of
guys off the street. And at no point do any of us, yourself, myself, Chet, our security guard, our decoys,
right.
we proclaim to be any type of vigilante,
Exactly. And they're just
putting words in our mouths.
yeah, as all journalists have done when I've the few times I have been interviewed by
Mhm.
press,
Mm-hmm.
they always label it as vigilante. I think that's because that's what's going to get the clicks,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, not of course not.
Yeah.
They don't care about
Exactly.
clicks.
Yeah, either that or if you come online and you say, hoopla! Hoopla! Sounds like a lot of hoopla.
Yeah,
Or
they're not.
clout.
See, if they put content creator
Mhm.
catching individuals, it's not going to get as many clicks. I
Yeah,
don't think.
no, video vigilante.
That's
They
what's
gotta,
gonna
they gotta dress it up.
exactly.
gotta
That's
look all-
what's gonna get your
Gotta
clicks.
look all fancy.
Who is this guy though?
All right.
Let's see.
And private citizens taking law enforcement into their own hands is a problem for our society.
Adam Scott Want is a professor of public
Okay.
policy at John Jay
Okay,
College
let's
of
back up a
Scott.
little.
I was about to
the
say,
term
because you probably won't go over the
This
same
is
thing now.
vigilantism. And private citizens taking law enforcement into their own hands is a problem for
yeah?
our society.
Adam
Yes, it
So
is.
at what point?
What problem is it causing? So what?
Yes, it is. It is a huge problem in society. Are you kidding me? Let the police do their jobs. Don't be doing stuff like that. You want to risk getting yourself arrested? Go ahead, but that's what the police are for. To protect and serve.
So there's
I'm
a
just
couple things. So
curious.
so first of all, what problem is it causing for you guys? Because we're doing this thing called their job that they should be doing
Kind of.
regardless,
Yeah.
because most police departments are supposed or do have some type of unit that deals with this,
Yeah,
right?
but they don't all. They all
yeah,
don't.
they'll
Oh yeah, pumping out a unit. Pumping out a unit. Oh my. Hello, Edna.
they don't
Not all
all.
of
So
them.
we're helping you do what is supposed to be your job, right?
Yeah.
But at no point, again, at no point do we claim to be law enforcement. Are we taking law enforcement into our own hands? We never
True.
tell them you're under arrest. We never tell them you can't leave.
Yeah.
We never prevent them from leaving.
Nope.
At no point do we
Russ is gonna send the whole entire community into a firestorm with this story.
attempt to be law enforcement. So yet again, putting words in our mouths.
Y'all think I don't know that? Y'all think I don't know people are gonna have another fit and say that this ain't true? I know it. I know it.
Sort of, yeah. And he's saying it's causes a problem. I mean, how is me, setting up the sting operation and catching these guys and putting them on blast? How is that causing a problem in society?
Yeah.
I
I would love an answer to that.
Yeah.
Like, please explain to me how this is a problem.
Because if what he's getting at is that the police should be doing it and only the police, why is it that I'm able to catch these guys? I mean, these guys aren't even on their radar. The guys that we're catching, like the police don't know these guys even exist. So how is me bringing this? How is me shining light on their actions?
They would have
causing
never,
a problem.
They would have never caught Bill Minnie.
They never would have caught Bill.
They would have
Definitely.
never
Yeah.
got the ice cream shop predator.
Yeah, that's the ice cream shop predator. Just so you guys know, Bill Minnie. But yeah, they didn't know. They had no idea he even existed, really.
Nope.
Until we came around.
And interestingly enough, it wasn't until we caught them and people knew that he couldn't do anything to the kids or anything whatnot anymore, that the local community, if you remember, started coming forward and messaging us, because it messaged not just you but myself as well.
Yep.
And coming out on the Facebook posts and saying, hey, he's had a history. But we could never do anything because law enforcement didn't care.
Exactly, and we're the ones that care.
But we're causing the disturbance.
but we're the bad guys, I guess.
Of course, because we're video vigilantes.
Video vigilantes, yeah.
Scott Want is
he's watching my video in disgust and disbelief.
Right. Look at the scowl. It takes more muscles to frown and scowl than it does a smile, right?
as if this isn't hilarious.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably why he's scowling, because he's trying to keep from laughing. Let's be real here.
Maybe.
Professor of Public Policy at John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
Under no circumstances should private citizens be doing these online sting operations on their own. The risk.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But people are going to be stupid. They're going to think that they can just fuck around with with criminal investigations with no repercussions. Hey, no, you take matters into your own hands. You got to deal with the consequences, baby.
Far outweigh.
We don't do it on our own, though. We call the police.
Any benefits?
He says he's done approximately
the risk.
Okay, so he says the risk far outweighs any benefits. What are the potential risks here?
Well, we know what the potential risks are, if we're going to be real.
I mean,
but so the benefit, let's start with the easy one. The benefit is that in a perfect world, the police go through our chat logs, they go through all the information, the evidence that we give them, and they're
oh, well, no shit, that's what they're supposed to do.
Able to do a follow-up investigation, or that gives them probable cause to go and search the house, search the electronics, just like they did with Bill Minnie.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they found
something
paraphernalia. There we go. I had to use the $15 term. They found some paraphernalia on his devices, right? And it led to him being put away, and it led to justice being served. So that's the benefit, right? Which is a pretty freaking good benefit. The risk is pretty obvious as well. Obviously, you never know.
You never know what these guys have, what they're bringing in,
what they're capable of, right? But that is why we have our lovely security guard Chet.
That's why we have Chet. And I'm okay with taking that risk.
All right, I'm back.
And I think something that they if we're going to be serious here, something they didn't bother to ask us or you is that, you know, is this something that you guys think about? And the reality is, yes, every time we leave, it's like, you know,
they asked us that, but they didn't include
they put it in there, right?
But they did ask us.
Like, yeah, it's like, no, that's a risk that we take. Then we know that, look, there's a chance that in an extreme situation, we could not.
Oh, I thought it was frozen. No, the guy is just, it's them talking and not the other guy.
Come back from this.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's an extreme case.
It's pretty extreme. Most likely wouldn't happen.
There's still potential chance of that happening, right? So we know the risks, right?
We know.
But the reward is that
I think the reward
is way bigger than the risk, because we're not endangering anybody else around us. It's just ourselves.
It's just ourselves.
It's in a closed and honestly in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
He says he's done approximately 50 of these stings.
He showed up to our sting house to meet who he thought was a 14-year-old girl,
but acknowledges only these 3 have resulted in arrests.
Good old Harold.
Well, yeah, they're not going to get everybody.
I love Harold on the run.
That's a whole.
That's something, a whole other thing we got to dive into.
That's a whole other
at another time
that we could do, bro.
Yeah.
Some prosecutors look at videos like yours and say they do more harm than good. What's your response?
As long as these predators are out here trying to meet up with, you know, underage girls, I will still be here catching them.
He agreed to.
That wasn't even my answer for in real time. That wasn't my answer
for that.
No, either. That was they like clipped that and
out of context. So I will say that response was.
It makes sense for
was
it.
Very
sure.
Batman-esque of you, though.
You think so?
Yeah, it's very. As long as the criminals are out there.
Oh yeah,
watching, waiting.
What he was?
He's like, it's a warning.
Hashtag check Russ's hard drive.
Was
that was very Batman-esque. That was very, very Skeet Man-esque.
But I still call the police. So I'm not a vigilante.
Yep.
To show us how his latest sting went down in this Michigan hotel room.
What brings you here?
Somebody named Tristan. Yeah.
Apparently unsure if he's in trouble or not, the target of the sting repeatedly asks if he's free to leave.
Am I free to go?
I just want to ask you a few questions, Dave. We do
love how they like sort of misconstrued this to make it seem like I was like making him stay there.
Right. And which we didn't. We said we just want to ask you a few questions. Now we don't tell them you can leave, because if you tell them they can leave, what's going to happen?
They're not going to leave. But we also don't tell them that they can't leave because that would be false imprisonment.
You know, we just want to ask you a few questions first.
Basically, just ignore the
question.
question.
Before you leave.
Yeah, basically
right?
just.
We just want to ask you a few questions.
Basically, just ignore the question.
Exactly.
The police on standby, by the way.
Before he gets up to go, his security calls 911.
I have here a man who is here to have sex with a 13-year-old girl caught in a sting operation.
Yeah, lock him up. So you guys are going on the internet trying to lure people to the hotel?
You guys are going on the internet and trying to lure people to the hotel?
You have the.
Oh, I love how they kept that part in there. The 911.
Well, yeah, obviously they're going to ask questions like that.
And you know what they cut out is where we all almost in unison said, no, we're not luring anybody.
Yeah, it was like they come here on their own free will.
Yeah, we don't lure anyone, because if we were to say yes, then that means you're entrapping people. We were very careful to not say yes to that.
Yeah.
Because we're not luring anybody.
You have the police on standby, you said.
Yeah, and that basically just means that we have, 911 on standby. It's just another way.
You don't have the police on standby.
Essentially, no.
So you lied to him.
Definitely no.
Pretty much.
So what does the real...
What's wrong with that? I lied to a predator, so what? It's not a crime.
Well, here's the thing, too, is saying like we have the police on standby. That just means that the police are always on standby anyway.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. So it's not. So I guess it wasn't really a lie.
It's not really a lie. She kind of, let's be real, Lisa, we love you, but you kind of hit him with the okie doke there. You kind of debated him.
Yeah,
that.
She got me. She got me.
You know what I'm saying? This is where it gets good. Yeah. Right here. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of why you all are here tonight.
Right here. Yeah. So this is it. Let's hear what the real Chris Hansen has to say about all this.
Lord and Savior.
Lord and Savior
Oh
Chris
yeah,
Hansen. Shout
yeah.
out to
This should be really good. This should be really good. Always a fun time with Chris Hansen.
Real Chris Hansen think of all of this?
It's amateurish at best, and in the
At best?
At best?
Amateurish?
What's a sub count? I'm sorry, we shouldn't go there, should we?
What is a sub count? Let's see.
Let's see how many subs.
Amateur.
Who the fuck cares?
At best.
Mr. Chris Hansen has.
He's at.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, almost. You know what? I'll look at that now myself. Chris Hansen. Okay, it's mainly just law and okay, 414K, yeah. So he's not at 399K no more. He went up. Takedown with Chris Hansen. What's this?
Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen.
Where you want to go?
hey Jeff, have a seat right over there.
I knew that was going to happen.
In Genesee County, Michigan, it's one of the most shocking takedowns yet.
Where is this going?
What should happen to you, Jeff?
And this man's career will leave you floored.
Jeff,
oh yeah.
You're not going to believe it.
True Blue. Wait.
Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here. I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown. But there's something else you need to know. We have almost 100 new episodes on my streaming crime network, WatchTrueBlue.com. Use the code YouTube24 for half off your first month, or YouTube Year for $20 off a full year. We'll see you soon on True Blue.
In Genesee County, Michigan, the investigation into potential child predators by the Ghost Team and me continues.
There's nobody here that's been in a battle like you.
At the Sting House, a ghost detective posing as the aunt to a 15-year-old.
I'd rather see this. The darkest moments.
Which of these ways would you choose?
The darkest moments in TV history.
To reveal your secret crush on someone. A, would you write that person a letter?
It's March 6th, 1995, as taping begins on an all-new episode of The Jenny Jones Show. The program was essentially a tabloid talk show centered around everyday people caught up in unusual circumstances, which made for an entertaining yet often questionable program, with the showrunners doing everything in their power to make the content as shocking and sensational as possible. And this episode was set to be no different. The segment centered around 6 people, each of whom had a secret admirer, who would be revealed for the very first time here on the show, with the most compelling of the group by far shaping up to be 24-year-old Jonathan Schmitz. Like the others, someone had a long-standing crush on Jonathan, but was too afraid to tell him. And upon hearing of this, Jonathan hoped in the back of his mind that it would be his longtime ex-girlfriend, who he had a newfound interest in marrying, though he was in for quite a shock. The twist in the episode was that Jonathan's secret admirer was actually a man named Scott Amador. The two are actually good friends, though Scott had never once mentioned having any sort of romantic interest in him, due to the fact that Jonathan was straight, and had never given any sort of indication otherwise, setting the scene for what was surely going to be a shocking reveal. A reveal that the crowd just couldn't wait to see.
B, would you tell the person in private in case he rejects you? Or C, would you tell that person that you're gay and you hope he is on national television?
The host, Jenny Jones, starts by talking to Scott and a mutual friend, inquiring as to how this crush began in the first place.
I want you now to meet Donna and Scott. Now, Donna has been helping Scott pursue his secret crush on John. John's backstage. He can't hear us. How bad's the crush? Tell me about the first time you met him. Where was he?
Basically, well, he was under a car working on her brake line.
Yeah. And that was your first time? What was your first impression?
Well, I only saw the lower half of him, so you can imagine.
before she begins to dig even deeper, pushing Scott to disclose as much graphic personal information as possible, just to make things that much more entertaining. And his answers did not disappoint.
Okay, you think about you have fantasies about him?
I've had
What even is this?
a couple, yeah.
Yeah, you had when he was under the car, you had a fantasy about him.
Yeah, something to do with like brake oil line snapping and.
You have another one that involved you were in a hammock or something. Tell us about that fantasy.
Yeah, I thought about tying him up to my hammock.
With all of Scott's secrets now out in the open, it was time to bring out the man himself, the object of Scott's affection, who had absolutely no idea what he was walking into.
Let's have John come out here and see who has the crush on him. Here's John.
Wow.
This was the pivotal moment of the show, the big reveal, and perhaps overcome by the excitement of the ratings that she assumed this would bring her, Jenny Jones could hardly wait to blurt out who Jonathan's admirer truly was.
Did you think Donna had the crush on you?
Did I? No, we're good friends.
Well, guess what? It's Scott that has the crush on you.
You lied to me.
Oh no.
Jonathan's reaction was certainly one of shock, but the host wasn't quite satisfied, having one more trick up her sleeve in order to garner an even stronger reaction, as she gives the producers the cue to replay Scott's segment, where he discussed his fantasies in depth.
Before we talk, take a look at, we'll show a little playback of what Scott said about you, John. Take a look at that monitor
right
down
here?
there.
Well, it entails like whipped cream and champagne, stuff like that.
And from here, the segment comes to a close, with Jonathan reaffirming that he is in fact straight, thus dashing Scott's hopes of ever dating the man.
Did you have any idea that he liked you this much?
No. I did not.
No, not at all. No. Not at all. Not at all.
Can you tell us what your status is? Are you involved with anybody, or?
No, but I am definitely heterosexual, I guess you could say.
Leaving the two to head off stage and deal with the messy aftermath of a revelation like this, done on a stage like that. But despite the obvious
Like
awkwardness, it actually seemed like both parties took it pretty well, with Jonathan even taking Scott out for dinner that very night to smooth things over, where he again stated that he was flattered but just not interested. However, this civility wouldn't last long.
Uh-huh.
Man, my sister, I think I just got him in. Okay, calm down, okay? Okay, why did you do that? Okay, I want you to calm down. Okay, the gun's in the car. Okay, I want you to try to calm down.
Okay, can you tell me again why you shot the man?
Though he didn't say it at the time, the truth was that Jonathan was left shaken and embarrassed by what had happened on the Jenny Jones show. And despite the fact that the program at this point hadn't even aired yet, it was weighing heavily on his mind, just knowing that it would soon be seen by people he knew. And this feeling was only intensified due to the fact that Scott was seemingly not taking no for an answer, leaving a note on Jonathan's door just 3 days later, writing, "If you want to turn this off, you'll have to use a tool. It takes a special tool." This note was his breaking point. The moment Jonathan read it was the moment he made his mind up. He was going to kill Scott Amador. He left his house right then and there and purchased a shotgun, which he used to break down Scott's door, approaching the man and firing 2 shots at point-blank range, both of which connected, killing Scott instantly. With his mission accomplished, Jonathan sped away from the scene, calling the police shortly after and confessing to everything, stating his sole motivation for doing this being the humiliation he felt from Scott's own confession on that TV show, as well as his continued flirtation despite Jonathan's obvious disinterest. Though clearly this was no excuse to kill, and as a result, Jonathan was arrested and given 22 years in prison, from which he was released back in 2017.
Wow.
Due to the fallout from this episode, it was pulled from the lineup before it even made it to air. But today, the full recording can be found across the internet, giving us a look at the stage on which a killer was made, and a scene that has now become immortalized as one of the darkest moments in television history.
Yeah, Nick Crowley presents the darkest moments in TV history. You're putting us to sleep, you're not even talking? I just said the darkest moments in TV history.
The internet is a dark place, and lurking around every corner are companies trying to steal and exploit our data. This is why I always recommend protecting yourself online with Aura, the sponsor of today's video. One of my all-time least favorite things in this world are spam phone calls and spam texts. They range from mildly annoying all the way to incredibly dangerous if you end up clicking on one of those sketchy links. And the unfortunate truth behind why we receive so many of these phone calls and texts is that big companies just can't keep our data safe. Or they can, and they just don't. I talked in a previous video about how AT&T was involved in a massive data breach where 70 million of these users had their social security numbers leaked onto the dark web. And if you thought that was horrifying, a few weeks ago they announced that the stolen logs also contained records of every number those customers ever texted or called, meaning that even if you don't use AT&T...
Hold on a minute. Your ex-YouTube GF is live? Who are you talking about, Anna? Who?
You were likely still affected by this breach, whether you know it or not. And for that reason, most of our phone numbers are just floating around out there, being accessed by the worst scammers. So what can you do to protect yourself? Well, Aura is a great option. They're an all-in-one digital protection service that gives me alerts every time my phone number or any sensitive information of mine has been compromised. I also get things like transaction monitoring, a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, parental controls, and identity theft insurance. And best of all, I get this in one app at one affordable price. Aura is honestly a great service that I recommend to anyone out there using the internet, which obviously includes you if you're watching this video. And personally, I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches. And if you don't want to either, go on over to aura.com/Nick Crowley, where you'll get your first 2 weeks completely free, which I've also linked down below in the description.
Oh, she is. Good for her.
7月4号的晚上，一家人正常入睡。到了5号。
And I'm sticking to my own community going forward.
凌晨，意外发生了。
5点半早晨，我醒了。我醒来的时候你不在。
He had nowhere else to turn. It had been 11 long excruciating days since 55-year-old Shu Guli had last seen his wife, Lai Hueli, who had vanished from their apartment in the dead of night. So now, desperate for help tracking her down, he took to the local news stations, putting out a public plea for any information that could help bring her home. Her disappearance occurred on the 4th of July 2020, which also happened to be their daughter's 11th birthday. To celebrate, Shu made the family a special meal, including his daughter's favorite, meatballs, cooking the entire recipe from scratch, even grinding the beef at home. The dinner was supposedly a success, and to finish things off, Lai and her daughter enjoyed a tall glass of milk poured by Shu before the family turned in for the night. Hours later, in the dead of night, Shu woke to use the restroom, and upon getting back into bed, he briefly watched his wife as she was sleeping peacefully next to him, before he fell back asleep. He would never see her again.
Anna. Damn, I sense some animosity in your voice. It's only me well, that's because she's live, and that's fine. I don't care. People want to watch her, go watch her.
24 hours later, Lai Hueli was officially reported missing, and a full-blown investigation into her whereabouts was launched, which is where things begin to get strange. When police searched the apartment complex, they noted a large number of security cameras positioned all over the property, both inside and outside of the building, making it all but certain that Lai would be seen in the footage at some point leaving the apartment, which would at least give investigators a timeline as to when she left. The footage first shows Lai and her daughter taking the elevator up to their apartment at 5:04 p.m., which was presumably right before their meal. From there, over 6,000 hours of footage would be reviewed frame by frame, though strangely, Lai was never pictured again. To investigators, this was impossible. The cameras covered every single possible exit, and it was shown that not a single route would have made her completely undetectable to them, which quite simply meant that she could not have left the building. She had to be somewhere inside. And so they searched everywhere in that complex, from the unit she lived in to the AC vents, the water tanks, storage units, everywhere. Though still, they found nothing. Lai was gone, but at the same time, she clearly hadn't left. It was no wonder why Shu felt so helpless in the situation, and fearing that they were reaching a dead end, he began what essentially became his ultimate tour, as he attempted to get as many eyes as possible.
Yeah, the situation. Oh.
Onto the case in order to help find his wife.
许先生说，7月5号凌晨12点半，他起床上洗手间的时候，妻子还躺在身边。到了清晨5点半，床上就只剩下他一个人。
我也没在意，对吧？
您当时为什么没在意？
为什么没？这是很正常。
之前有没有发生过这种情况？
没有，没有。
我女儿怎么办？我的生活怎么办？啊，我老婆什么时候回来到底？
This is that all of that's boring. All of that's boring. I hope that I answered what needed to be answered correctly. If you don't believe that either, that's on you. So, I'll play another random song. Coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. Let me share my screen again.
Make it look easy, but you don't know where I've been. You think I'm manufactured, just part of some big machine. You think some billionaire just handed me a dream.
Oh, well, let me tell you.
Coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. Knock me down, but soon I'll be standing. So easy, like it ain't demanding. But coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. She's a big overnight sensation. Slipped away to her destination. I bet she's a picture, it must be so demanding. But coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. What you like, emulate me. What you like, don't you hate me. What you like, baby, 'cause coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. You didn't see me when I almost lost my mind. You didn't hear the conversations in my head at night. You think some billionaire just handed me a dream.
Let me tell ya.
Coincidence takes a whole lot of planning.
Knock me down, but soon I'll be standing.
So easy, like it ain't demanding. But coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. She's a big overnight sensation. Slipped away to her destination. I bet she's a picture, it must be so demanding. But coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. What you like, emulate me. What you like, don't you hate me. What you like, baby, 'cause coincidence takes a whole lot of planning. You think it okay on a silver plate, on a silver plate. You think it okay on a silver plate. Shut your mouth, 'cause I hear every word you're saying. She's a big overnight sensation. Slipped away to her destination. I bet she's a picture, it must be so demanding. But coincidence takes a whole lot of planning.
Takes a whole lot of planning. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off now. Proof that he had nothing to do with it, huh? Proof that he had nothing to do with it, huh? Shh. Okay, bye. Enough gags, boy. I'll be live later tonight. Probably.